Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome into a late edition Flying with Mike. Leaving off. We're going to take off where we left off. We'll get all of this squared away yet. We're in El Paso, Texas. Let's just say that. Across that tree line there is Fort Bliss, for those of you that love that place. Yeah, I know, not many of you do. But anyway, we are going to do a nice little short hop, just one flight tonight, over to Phoenix in the Rotate MD-11. Unfortunately, there is a monsoonal set of thunderstorms set up in between us and there. Not sure how well that'll show up on this plane. They did, like I said, back when we flew a flight from Richmond to Memphis, it was like March or April. Boy, did they show up well on radar. However, we haven't been in weather ever since with this plane to ever check it out again and see just what it's like. Now, it is not claimed yet to be updated. So that part we know won't happen. But like I said, we had this radar on a flight earlier this year. So without further ado, this is the Rotate MD-11. I'm getting it ready for departure. We're about halfway or so through. We'll get back to where I was here in just a minute. Let's get up in the cockpit, familiarize yourselves with what we got. If the noise of the aircraft is too loud, thank the ones that said crank it up. No, seriously, that's so mean. No, seriously though, I do have a lot of people that have said crank it up. So they're getting their wish with this plane for sure. Hang on a second, we'll get a couple things. All right, we're in the process of the hydraulic test is over, so hang on. Let me see something. I'm trying to think which one I want to go to. All right, we'll do engines. All right, the reason being, I know why. We can monitor the APU and all that good stuff. All right, well, I thought I unlocked that. Hang on a second. That's what this captain gets for thinking. All right, so as you can see, it's an MD-11 cockpit. There's really only one huge quirk with this plane to be aware of, and that comes in when you're loading it. You have to make sure, don't worry about the payload CG. What you got to worry about is the TOCG. Over here on the right side, the graph, down below is the numeric value, has to be, TOCG has to be 30 to 31% MAC. Plain and simple, that's what Rotate says. Don't know if the real one follows it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's fun to fly in the sim. So I just split the hairs. The passenger version, I believe I have yet to hear anyone comment and say I'm wrong, is the same. However, I will tell you this. You'll be very hard pressed to hit 31%. Just the way that plane is. So just mindful, let you know. All right, let's bring in Sim Toolkit, show off the route we got ahead of us. My nightly coughing spat. All right, here's that monsoonal moisture that I told you we'd be flying through or over, or hopefully shows up on radar. We'll find out. A lot of times I take what I see in Sim Toolkit and Elevatech, grain of salt. I'll take more of what I see in the map of X-Plane However, the map of X-plane is limited in what it shows ahead of the plane. So it is what it is. There's, let's not quibble over it, okay? So that's our route. You can read it right over here under the El Paso to Phoenix. I'm going to get our load out. 92,209 pounds. Hey, there was a spoiler alert on that EFB if you read it. ZFW is very close. Block fuel, 32,837 pounds. We're not carrying any people today. And yes, these aircraft can and do up to about 22 people with FedEx, depending on the frame. If they, again, FedEx is not stupid. It's not gonna sacrifice revenue in the back for non-revenue passengers with the airline. So whatever they allocate is all they, and the FAA at a certain point mandates a flight attendant. You ain't gonna see that one either. So they'll keep it under and fly non-rev, fly FedEx employees where they need to be. Again, ATKN 5 to ATKN, driver in to driver, and then in on the ping one. 90 on the cost index. That's right, it's ping, P-I-N-G-G, or P-I-N-N-G. 38,000 dispatches graced us with today. And it's relatively a short flight. Yeah, they're just, playing tricks with us. What do we got for mileage? 321? Yeah, it could be. Unless ATC says that'll be your final 10 feet above the ground. Hasn't happened yet. Waiting for it, but it hasn't yet. Okay, here in El Paso, winds are 140 at 4. Hang on a second. Okay, we are taking off on 22. Okay, I was just, like, yeah, okay. And it's the desert, folks. It's 93 degrees out there, so it's not as hot as it could be, but it's definitely the desert. All right, so it's clear skies. Hey, what can you expect? A haboob, a dust storm. Why not? No. Phoenix, winds out of the northwest, 320 at 610-mile visibility. Some scattered clouds at 8,500 and 14,000. A desert city, and it's actually warmer there. It's 100 degrees, and they actually have humidity at 61 degrees. All right, for those of you over in Europe, yeah, I know 38 degrees is the temperature and 16 is the dew point. I know, I don't want to stress too many people. It's been a great day. Hey, tomorrow's Friday. All right, and again, right now, beautiful day here is just getting there. That's going to be the fun. We're on VATSIM already. Hang on. Oh, I almost clicked the wrong button to disconnect. But like I said, here we go through a nice little batch of storms. All right. Now, one other thing to put in the back of your mind is not a quirk, but it's there for you to use to help speed things along. And that's this little highlighted area that I'm making with the mouse. Apply load configuration to aircraft and FMC. What that's going to do is it's already loaded your aircraft when you click it, and set up the weight page for the FMS, McDo, however you want to look at it. We'll get to that in a second too. Oh, you didn't see that. Hang on, I just realized that. Goodbye, Sim Toolkit. All right, so what we were talking about is right here, apply load configuration to aircraft and FMC. Like I said, it loads your plane, what's there. So my plane is already loaded, and when I get to this step in the FMS, it too is loaded. You don't have to go through and click the line selects next to them to fill them in, where the real crews would actually fill them in. So, all right, speaking of which, there is one other neat thing you can do here, and it does not affect any of what you just did. However, before I forget, sorry FedEx, I'm remembering to fire up my ACARS program. Pretty much because they're probably fed up with my manual program, and I gave up on them too, so I don't mind reflying. Trust me, it's another flight. Just hang on a second. We'll be up and running here. Okay, perfect. Start. All right. One other thing you can do here, we can request fuel, and we can request to load the aircraft. Now, all it does, now the passenger version doesn't really have this, but it does have where you'll get the galley truck and so forth. So you'll get that. Here, you get the cheesy cans going in, 4 cans that'll disappear when everything is out of here. So when they back off and go away, they go away in the plane, but the weights remain. Let's see if the fuel truck has showed up yet. I don't think so. But anyway, it's some cheesy graphics they give us, okay? And I thought I'd start it for you. I don't think that'll be our fuel truck, but if it is, it is. Usually it's the small one. And one thing the small one usually does, I thought this was the aircraft. I fly too many to keep them straight. The middle portion lifts up for the guy on the truck to simulate to hook up. Oh, here comes the Mafia. That looks like we're getting this big old truck. But like I said, right now, if you looked in the window, or looked at the window shot I have, you'd see the cans. When the door closes and all of this is gone, they too are gone. Who's gonna hit who? I think the truck's gonna hit the car. Yep, right through it. You can tell I have fun with this every time. All right, we're done loading. They'll be out of here with the fuel in a minute, and we're going to pick up and go. So I hope, like I said, your Friday Eve has been a great day. Tomorrow is, in fact, actually Friday. So hope you have a fantastic day. And for those of you, and I do know 1 or 2 of you do watch us when we go live at night, I hope you enjoy. Because it's already Friday there, daytime. So all right, we're done here. And like I said, if I turn around in the aircraft, no cargo. Whoopee. Again, you know, it is kind of cheesy, but it's something, you know. Hey, you know, I kind of get a little annoyed with cheesy stuff like that. If you're going to go all the way, put it in the plane. But I get it. People want to go, like us. All right, so we've got the all right, the FMC set up. We're aligned. The emergency power is on. Comm radios. Here's one. If you want to call it a quirk, you can. Just be mindful of 2 things. When you fire up your X pilot to go on X plane, pay very close attention to your TXs and your RXs upper left corner. make sure they're highlighted. They are the dark blue, not the very faint blue they use. How to make them? First off, you would make sure, usually the transmit comes on TX. It's the speakers that don't, the receiving. So what would happen is you would transmit. They would hear you. You would not hear them. Now, some would say that's a good thing. And I know VATSIM would tell me that's not a good thing. So how you overcome that? I'm going to use these over here, but we're not going to light them up. You basically turn VHF, well, I'll just do it. VHF 1, VHF 2, turn them all the way up. Then push with the mouse each button so they light up, and then watch your TX and your RXs on both COM 1, COM 2 come alive. Then you'll be, able to handle a conversation. To get mode C, you have to be exponder or higher. If you put it in standby, it will be dark. And so will the controller be to you when he says, squawk normal, please. Squawk normal, please. Please squawk normal, please. Happens many a time. More to the X-Plane or to the Microsoft crowd. But I know X-Plane gets their dings every now and then too. So, but anyway, that's that. Let's push on. So we got the glare shield set up. We got the FMC. The first half of it set up. Now it's time to finalize it. So coming down, what we're going to do first, verify our information. So El Paso to Phoenix, cool. Prescott is our alternate. Is that correct? Prescott? It is. Okay, I got it right. Like most cargo airports, you do not have coordinates. So you have to kind of go with whatever the airport is. Then your flight number, position ref will go through 2 pages. Put your cruise in. Now, if you're on a long flight, say, hypothetically, Memphis to Frankfurt, Memphis to Anchorage, Memphis. In this plane, yeah, I think you could do Tokyo. Matter of fact, I know the real ones did. I don't know, could this one. You're going to have a whole series of step climbs. You got to put them in with a slash. So it would be 380 backslash, 390 backslash, 400 backslash. And that's probably about as high as you'll take it up. But still, that's how, and what it does. It basically works your fuel computation, so you really don't see it doing much, and it's not gonna ask you, time to step climb, Captain. No, you got to do that. All right, now the wind and temperature, you go take the checklist, take the tutorial, learn things, and you'll find it's a really easy plane. Looks complicated. There are complicated parts to it, but overall, if you know how to fly an Airbus 319, 320, 321, 330, you've already got half the battle done. This cockpit is, as you'll look, you'll go, oh my gosh, he isn't kidding. Just look at the, hang on, let me see if I can get a good look at the McDo here. There's only one button out of place, and that's the takeoff APR. That's a McDonnell Douglas thing. That was so they could prove it was McDonnell Douglas, not Airbus. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Sounds good, though. But seriously, I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me, how the heck do you fly this plane? I said, do you know how to fly an Airbus? Yes. Look at it very carefully. And they're like, are you kidding me? I said, other than the fact it's a big white whale, yeah, it's an Airbus. Hiding in Boeing, McDonnell, actually hiding in McDonnell Douglas colors. They're the ones that built them. Boeing inherited them and modified them when they went to freighter. So anyway, off that subject, on to setting this up. So I bet you don't know where we go next. Wrong. Right. Here's that weight page. So here's what I do. I take it here, then I go over here, back to weight and balance, and taxi fuel 2.0. And basically that's where it's pulling a lot of this. Okay. But where you see the bigger numbers, that's where you would click. Okay. So our CG today for takeoff, or takeoff CG, 30.5, well within 30 to 31%. We're good, we're golden. Let's go and finish this up. All right, I'm gonna zoom in. I'm not gonna, go through it here with y'all, but what we're gonna do, look, it's just like Airbus, except they call it a SID instead of a departure. A departure, not a SID. You can tell I have fun with this plane. When I found, when Hawker 125 kept pestering me like he did for X plane, he pestered me for this plane. Yet he does not fly it. Let's put that in and on the record, because he wanted me to teach him. But yet he does not fly it. Sorry, Hawk. The bus wasn't that big that went over you. But seriously, it is very simple if you understand Airbus. What I'm doing right now is just real quick. The ATIS out of here says, oh, expect a visual 22 departing 2226 with a 1460 wind. Wow, that's 100-degree crosswind on 26 left. Wow, there has got to be some kind of noise abatement in place. Okay, so 22 is our runway. ATKNN 5 is our departure. And I believe we're going out only to ATKN. But let's double check. That looks that way. Yeah, it is that way. We're just going as far as ATKN, so we don't worry about a transition. Let me just go down. Insert. All right, so I'm pulling it up over here. All right, so we come off 22 to Bivy, okay, to ATKN, to driver, and driver starts our star into FedEx, where we hope to get to 38,000 so we can actually descend on the arrival. We'll see. We should. 300 miles, we should. It could be tight. Okay, coming in the ping, 1 arrival. All right, so again, let's look at it. Okay, arrows move it up. Look at that. How Airbus can you get? Phoenix star, which would have said arrival in an Airbus. All right, today. Okay, close out that. Let's go to Phoenix. Phoenix is telling us simultaneous approaches in use. Expect ILS or visual to 26, ILS or visual 25 left, and they're gonna depart 25 right. Okay, that all kind of makes sense. Let me just work on the runway. 7,800 feet. Now I know the aircraft can do this. It's the pilot is what I'm worried about. For now, let's plan on it. We can always sidestep. So wait, which runway again? 25 left. Oh wait, let's I don't know if we have an ILS for that runway. We should. It said there should be one. All right. Hang on. I'm going to check real quick. Zerlo. New. Looks like final. That'll work. Okay, so we are, we're star to Phoenix. We're looking for I-25 left. ILS 25 left. We're not going to transition Zerlo. By the way, Zerlo is north, coming in from the north, so yeah, no. And we are going to be on the ping. Transition driver. And insert. Yeah, that would have been a different thing too. But, you know, you're getting the drift. It's pretty much Airbus to AT. All right, so driver, banker, hybrid, ping. Right now, we could see the altitudes. Yeah, we are. Okay, and they would be accurate because most of the performance was already put in. Most, I say. We still got one thing to do. Bradley, Perk, Fanap, Gips, Ping, Bradley. Whoa, I gotta wiggle. Oh wait, wait a minute, where'd we go? Bradley, Par. Okay, there we go. Perk, Fanip, Jackal. Wait a minute, where's Gisp? Oh, there's Gisp. That's where we're going, Gisp. All right, and then from Gipsy to Skade to a runway. Okay, and then out to Popke, hold, and then when they decide they want to let us come back, we'll come back. Or we'll just tell them, you're going to Prescott. No. All right, so that was pretty easy. Painless, so to speak. All right, now from here, we've got the flight plan in. Again, if you're brand new to this plane, I would fly the tutorial at least 2 or 3 times as written. Get used to where things are in this plane. Use this checklist that comes with it. It, by the way, works for both aircraft, passenger, freighter. Yeah, I know. Just saved, I guess, on typing. Then what I do is then I'll plug my numbers in for cargo, for people, whatever. And then I'll do my own flight like I am right now, using it without their numbers, obviously. All right, so the flight plan is in. We've got discos cleared. Let me go through it one more time. Yeah, no discos. Okay, discontinuities, by the way, is what that says. If you're not Airbus savvy. Now we're going to go to the one and only button that is not Airbus, takeoff approach. We would go to performance if it was Airbus. All right, now, here is where it gets a little tricky. Hang on a second. What gets really tricky is all these windows open up here. Okay, go back to your sim brief flight. Highly recommend using the free web page SimBrief and building your flights there, generating them, sending them here. It breaks a lot of stuff down easy. Then you can come back, click Takeoff Performance, verify all of your information, looks good, and it does. Calculate, boom, there's your takeoff data. Today we're going to fly flaps 15. That's going to mean a change somewhere if you all were with us out of Memphis, because we were naughty. We took off on 27, but don't tell them that I said that. They really hate that runway. I swear they do. All right, but yeah, don't tell them. Up, or no, down 0.3. All right, so that would be just like Airbus, DN 0.3. Now, throw a diagonal in. What do we need? Wind? Headwind, 3. HD 3. Now, if you, by chance, your primary is a tail, TL. I don't know if you can go with crosswind. I really don't. Outside air temperature, 34 degrees Celsius. Flap 15. All right, now let's take a look. SimBrief came up with 130, 143, 153. I'm going to go with these just because it makes things a whole lot easier. All right, we have the aircraft programmed. It's ready to go. All we got to do now is work on the FMCP. Just like Airbus. Oh, my goodness, you know, well, this is just like any, once you're done there, you come up here. But again, you notice the look. Wait till we get more. Now that you know it in the front of your brain, wait till you see the overhead. However, we need to 250 runway. Well, hang on. Let me rethink that real quick. What is our departure? 222 to 4400, then direct. Okay, yeah, we'll go 222, then direct. All right, now I'm going to bring charts in here real quick. I'm going to explain why. I went through this last time as to why, and it's very easy to fall into this trap. Okay, your clearance comes to you either verbally or by the very popular pre-departure clearance message. You see the star. I did not when this happened the last time, okay? I missed that. However, you finally see the star, which I did at the end of the runway when I asked. Okay, now in the departure clearance, it said 22,000 feet. Lo and behold, I think that was my top altitude, but I don't want to hash that out. However, that is, I'm not 100% sure when that number actually comes into, unless it says 10 minutes after departure. What you got to do? What you got to do? Get charts. By the way, this is a great program, folks. Yes, it costs, but I'm here to tell you, phenomenal stuff. Now, this one, thankfully, isn't gonna, it's not a big major airport like Dallas or Denver or Phoenix, or in the case of when my faux pas happened, La Garbage Can, LaGuardia. Okay, so here it's saying your top altitude you can climb to is assigned by ATC. Cool, this is cool. What happened at LaGuardia, the departure said top altitude 5,000 feet. You're supposed to climb to 5,000 feet, and that's where you're supposed to cut it off. Unless, of course, tower or whoever tells you to go higher. I told him through 2,200 for 22,000. He goes, no, your top altitude was 5. I went back and went, oh my gosh, it was. So, and yes, Flying with Mike does get schooled every now and then by controllers. Rightly so in that case. Great catch, great job there. The controller did a phenomenal job. Worked with me and my, well, what happened also is, does it help that now I was in a hurry trying to get everything reprogrammed, rechecked, make sure performance data and all's good. So that's my error. I should have just slowed down, took my time, and got things right. But that's a big thing. I've heard a lot do it here of late, just because I've done it twice. Yeah, you only go to the top altitude of the chart until cleared higher. All right, you get some controllers, they go wacko on you. So in our case, we're going to 38,000. Two reasons. One, I have yet to see a controller come online. Two, I'm curious if we're going to make it. All right. And after that, we need to, we got the heading, we got the altitude. Finish up the nav display now. And all that is we're going to click both captain, first officer side, traffic data. You can see them populated on the nav display. VOR, VOR2, and I'm going to leave the radar off for now. And then we do the same over here. Click, click, VOR, VOR. Set range you want, okay? And of course, this can be adjusted in flight. No hard set fast rules here. All right, and then we're ready to crank it up. Take a look outside, see how much business is here. Again, the Army base is right across that tree line with the runways and all of that. So helicopters, all that good fun stuff. All right, let's start. First off, you know what? Since the APU's on, we're on the generator. Let's turn off external power so it's only available. Then come over here, ground ops. Let's close the cockpit door. Now, when you click load aircraft here, now it's going to be a little different on the passenger version. I think they might be the same, but you can also toggle jetways, okay, in the passenger version. But the reason I didn't play with the main cargo door is when you click load in the freighter, it does that for you. Cheesy, I know, but still. All right, so we got our cockpit door closed, we got the stairs away, and gonna go ahead and turn those off. I think we're ready to go. Calling better pushback, better pushback. Are you there?
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
And I just verified we are on the FedEx Express virtual map. So we are up and running. Hey, Azul! It's back to your place. Yes, we will remember 9/11. All right, let's finish this up. Okay, seatbelts. Beacon. Emergency lights to arm.
Tow
Switch
connected and
armed.
bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Ready for pushback. Come down here. We'll set up aux pump 1. And transponder to exponder. And then up here, let's go with A system today. And what do you say we go back? Oh, wait, let's get some chocks out of here. The ground guys have been kind of remiss in that.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
No, we don't have the purple people eater. I should have flown that. You are 100% right. Well, we kind of are, sort of. But the purple people eater, folks, is the whole plane's purple. It's awesome. It's the original Federal Express. All right, I am going to start cranking engines. Purple people on the side. Oh, I love flying the Federal Express version. I didn't even think about that today. Doggone it. Oh, by the way, we are in X-Plane 3.0, X-Plane 12 3.0. And like I said, unfortunately, those looking for the weather, see what they think of it. You're not going to really get a whole, you'll see the weather, but you're not going to get the radar. I pretty much believe that. We'll see.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Like we said in the pre-brief, it's
Disconnecting
there.
tow. Stand by.
The radar has worked in other situations. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Okay, number 2 is up and going. I really do not think these sage bushes would be there. I could be wrong, but I really don't think they would. All right, number 2, calling number 2. It's your turn to start on the Flying with Mike stream.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
All right, we'll be delayed in looking for it, but we'll get it quickly. Actually, we may not be. Fuel on. Lighting up. 4, and there's the tow. We made it in time. Now, 2 things you're getting here. 1, you're getting the thumbs up. Should be, let's put that in big quotes, everybody's away from the plane. The other big thing is the pins. They're out. So you should be able to steer it, and most importantly, hopefully the wheels will retract and come back down. No, into C, is that Columbia, South Carolina? They're Azul. while we wait, we will continue. Okay, the aircraft's powered up. Engine start looks good. Yeah, I believe I have brought FedEx in there once or twice. I think the 747, but might have been one of the others. All right, so let's see, APU's on. Okay, after start, windshield. Get the guy out here to clean my windows. They're fogging up. Any ice not needed. APU, let's go bleed off. All right, and hydraulics are good. Last thing we need to do, set the trim. Trim for this flight's 4.8. So what you're going to do where it says stab second line at the top with the airplane, 4.2, set it to. 4.8, my bad. Okay, and then we're going to move. We'll come back here in a second. I think I may have to kill the APU the other way. We'll see. It's being stubborn, and if it is, it is. What was I down here? Oh yeah, going to config. All right, again. Good. Now the runway's right out there in front of us, so let's do all of our due diligence here so we can just go. Usually you could do a lot of this while taxiing. Even the rudder check, there's an override. So that when you're using the tiller, the rudder pedals will work. Airbus actually has a button you push. Okay, let's just do one last check. All right. Now, we mentioned this in pre-flight. We're gonna... Oh, it's already set. It was down at 20-something for our last flight. We had a short runway for takeoff. So, what this system is, it's called... Yeah, okay, I'll pause for a second. Dial-a-flap. Yeah, you heard it, dial-a-flap. Yeah, in essence, if you call 1-800-dial-a-flap, you know how that works. Seriously. Basically, what you do is you dial in your flap setting over here. Now, when you apply flaps, there's your slats. There's 15 degrees. Now, you can verify it right over here. Slats down, flaps 15. And, of course, if you want to go through the cargo and through that party back there, you can check to see the flaps too. Most people don't. All right, we're ready to go. Takeoff data confirmed. Airspeeds are good. Let's arm the spoiler. Hey, look, you do the same thing. Pull it up. How about that? Like I said, if you know an Airbus, you know the plane. You've made a CAE scenery and was going to ask if you could evaluate the cargo areas, or what should I add for more realistic? Sorry, an ad for Azul sceneries. Yeah, I could take a look at it and see. I do fly a lot of cargo flights. That I do. For this company right here, FedEx Express Virtual. So I'd have to get my bearings again on that airplane. It's been a long time since I've been in there, probably about a good 2 years. Maybe even longer. Like I said, I took a 7.4 in there. All right, let's see. Get myself back in here. State trim set. Spoiler set, flight control set, takeoff checked and confirmed. We're ready to taxi. Hang on, I got to get the CTAF for this airport. Hey guys and gals, if you're flying in from anywhere outside the US, remember we're on CTAF now. So you may not know who's moving around unless you're on CTAF. And the CTAF, Common Traffic Advisory Frequency, it's very easy to find. All you got to do is type .ctaf space and whatever the 4-character ICAO is for the airport. That includes the little ones, guys. Those of you that fly GA, most of you know. But it's on the charts. And .ctaf KELP for here. And it's going to give me 118.3. Come down to the good old radio. Yeah, technically I should have been nice and told him I was pushing back. Another thing somebody told me is, you know, even though Center would really hate us for not monitoring 122.8 could avoid big troubles on the runway. Just letting you know. We're not. Here we go. As we take off from Azul's land. Well, if ATC is scary, that's a normal day. El Paso traffic, FedEx 811 heavy, taxiing out of the North Cargo for runway 22. Okay, these, what ILS hold marks are, is if this was for some strange reason, they had bad weather here. Like I said, it would be a strange day for El Paso to have bad weather. Probably winter time. But you may have to hold there to keep the critical area for the ILSs clear. Real world, I don't know if that is even modeled in any of the flight sims. El Paso traffic, FedEx 811 heavy, departing 22 on the ATKNN 5 departure. All right, if you brought pretzels with you, go right ahead. I don't have a flight attendant back there with you. Just Wilson. All right, now something someone told me once. What you can do at this point before you crank them up. First off, the before takeoff's gonna tell you turn on auto flight and nav and FMC speed. Reason he says it puts you into that mode and the autopilot automatically engages. Okay, one more time. Cabin radar transponder. That I know needs to go. Transponder. Radar. Okay, radar's on. Let's go here to terrain. Should be all red over here. Ooh, BKB. May not work. That will work with once rotate updates. It's Wilson. Here we go. $80 knots. V1 rotating. Now into the MD-11 spaceship climb as the gear comes up. I don't get why I got to click it the second time. Okay, flaps and slats are up. We are beginning our ascent to 38,000. One other thing I'm not a big fan of with this plane, it always overshoots fixes. Very rarely will it turn when it's supposed to. So it's kind of a, you're going to weave through the sky to get on course. All right, let's go ahead and increase. All right, now we're on the 140-mile leg to driver. with about 40 minutes at this altitude, it'll go down to Phoenix. And I got a feeling we're going to be landing into a sun. Oh, that's never fun. There you have it, folks. Like I said, it's pretty... You fly it about 4 or 5 times, it starts getting easier. The tough part, and I think where the airlines really had troubles with it, was its characteristics maybe on landing, because it's sometimes is easy to coax, and granted the freighters figured it out. It's been around the better part of 30 years. Probably close to 40 now. No, probably about 30. And they're just now beginning to phase them out because of more efficient aircraft. But they still got quite a few of them in service. All right, as mentioned earlier by Azul, hey, let's not forget today. You know, folks, 24 years ago was 9/11. We all can remember, those of us that were here when it occurred. I know there's a bunch that weren't around when that happened. And don't understand it, just like many of us don't understand December 7th, 1941. We weren't there, but we've read, we've learned, we've been taught, we've been shown what happened. Boy, what a day 9/11 was. Lot of sadness. I mean, 3,000 people lost their lives to terrorism. As we all would learn, for the next 15 to 20 years, we'd be fighting that war. It's just a very sad day. So don't, you know, tonight when you head to bed, say a prayer. Say, thank God, you know, we still live in the greatest country of the world, the United States of America. Oh, we've got our problems, don't get me wrong, just like everyone else out there. But folks, this is still the greatest country out there. God, you know, God blessed us. Terrorists, you know, just are terrorists. They're out to do what the first 5 letters say, terrorize. So they're out to make terror for you. Or is it 6 letters? Anyway, so don't ever forget this day. Just like, you know, I know so many are trying to put December 7th behind us. No, don't ever forget that. That was one horrific day. Granted, that was all military. 9/11 was civilians. Civilians that the terrorists went after. They didn't go after the military because they know they went after the Pentagon, but they went after a part of it that was unoccupied. Now, whether they would have ever known that or not's unknown. But yet still some people died there, don't get me wrong. Workers and construction workers and a couple workers still within that wing. Okay, that's a good master. So, never forget that, folks. 9/11, those 3,000 people, those 300 firefighters, police, EMS. I mean, they do things, you know, I did things you all are told not to do. I ran into burning buildings to put them out. We're telling you, get out. And so, Remember, what a day, and what it did to this country, much like December 7th did. So. Okay, we got to 38,000. Now let's see where top of descents lie in their calculations. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, so let's take a look at the chart. Oh, wait, we got a message. Okay. All right, so we need to be at Binker 280 and 25,000 to 28,000. So about 35 to, I'm going to do about 45 miles out. We're going to start our descent. All right, so we are really at the bottom end. I don't even know if we're still in Texas. I think we are drivers when we cut through a little bit of New Mexico to get into Arizona. I forget how that's all set up down there. No, I think we're in New Mexico. All right, just doing some clip work for YouTube. All right, well, we ought to be getting kind of close. Oh, no, we still got to get over driver, so... All right, enough of that. Okay, so after driver up ahead here, about 27 miles, we've then got a run of 74 miles to Benker. And then we'll be at 25,000 at Benker. We'll start it at about 40 to 50 miles out. So that way we can be down, unless Auto ATC alerts us earlier, and then we will descend with them. So we don't end up having to do a really bad loop. Thank you, Miami. Great job with that, by the way. Yeah, we've had some interesting days of late. By the way, this is where the storms should have been. We are approaching them. Hang on, let me just check Elevatech. Yeah, they're still showing them. Maybe over there, maybe some up ahead. Give it time, let's see what happens. But enjoy the flight. Oh, and one last thing to announce. It is September, which for Twitch is Subtember. They're giving off some great deals right now. If you do, in fact, sub, we would really appreciate. They're giving 30% or 25% off first month or 1 month and 3 month subs, and 30% off if you so choose to go 6 months, both web and mobile. So check it out. We would sure love for you to become a subscriber here. Really would love, we could always use the help, and trying to get new things for the stream and all. So yeah, we would really love it. The deals end October 1 at 10 p.m. Pacific U.S. time. Matt Air, or Matt 1997 Air, welcome aboard. It is going fabulous. It is Friday Eve. And for many out there, it's already Friday. Uh-oh, you have news. All right, Matt, what is the news? That is awesome. 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 A brand new instrument rated pilot. Oh, that is awesome. Now you get to fly into clouds. Now you can't, now you have no excuse in the wintertime. Okay, maybe icing, but why you can't fly? That is awesome. Congratulations, sir. Congrats, congrats, congrats. What a mile. That is a great milestone. Yeah, it looks like up in your neck of the woods, you were under the hood for all of it. No actual instrument stuff up there, unless you had fog, which won't show up on these. But that is awesome. Speaking of which, I better start looking back here. Where am I? All right. 58 miles out. All right, so we need to think about our descent. Well, if there are bad weather, monsoonal weather here in Arizona, New Mexico, it's really not showing up. Kind of waiting to see if auto ATC will trigger. I've got about 15 miles to play with here. Okay, maybe not. All right, for our approach, we're going to land 35 on the flaps, approach speed 147, ref 42, 142. Right, that looks good. Oh well, looks like auto ATC is, oops, that's not what we wanted. There we go. Yeah, we got some clouds here, but I'm not seeing thunderstorms. The desert must be drying it up a little bit. All right, we're gonna about, let's see. Yeah, there's nothing showing up here. I do have it on, right? Okay, not showing up on the map means it is not definitely going to show up out here. But we got some clouds. Now, tomorrow's flight, the first one, Genoa to Naples, there could be an aircraft change in that. We'll see. If you're not familiar with TOLUS, you should be. Very well done Airbus 319, 320, 321. Now, mind you, 320 is a NEO. A CO version is due out later this year. But the A321 has both NEO and CO, and an A330-900 NEO. They also have the A340-600, I think it is. So it's a really good company. Anyway, with the advent of X-Plane 12 3.0 and the expanded radars, they have started the update process with their aircraft, starting with the A319. It is in a beta right now. And I am tempted to switch out from the A320 NEO, which was scheduled, and fly with it. Boy, we really rocketed down. We're already at altitude and we're still 25 miles out. Holy mackerel. So, but anyway, just want to put that out there. There could be an aircraft change tomorrow. Been a lot of weather in that part of the Mediterranean, the part that heads towards France and Italy. So we may opt to see how the radar looks over there. And again, if you're not into the betas or not, just one other thing to help tease it along. That second flight is an updated Dubai, and what little I have seen of it, and I mean little, wow. They went in and updated it like they've done many of the other airports. Well, they've done a couple since the main release of 12. Wow is the key word. It is amazing. You'll get a flavor for it here tonight. I'll put the information out. I want to first make sure we can still do the flights before I commit. So there's some backstory going on that I want to make sure is okay before I push forward with this. Monday, if there is a stream, will be delayed. We have to go to the auto shop to have my wife's car looked at. It is not behaving properly. Oh, we need to be down to 280. All right, from here, let's go ahead and set 22,000. And then 1713 down to 7. If I do 7, we'll be at 7 in like blink of an eye. All right, let's pull off. I always like to look. So that's what's coming up this next couple of days. But I definitely want to let you know tomorrow could be a little squirrely. Hopefully we'll get these flights in, but I don't want to post anything other than next flight information until I confirm. Okay, everything. Okay, we need to slow to 270. All right, at ping, our next waypoint, Birdie, will be 13,250. Reason for that. Sky Harbor is 11,000 feet above sea level, or 1,100 feet above sea level. Ooh. Be up there where El Alto is. What the heck, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. All right, altimeter in FedEx. 2974. Strange, nope, 200 AGL for the minimums. All right, we should be crossing ping in a mile, and then it's 13,000. Phoenix area. All right, let's go ahead. Let me take a look at the brake. All right, before landing checks, I believe we've got them done. All right, seat belts, gear and lights, spoilers, auto brake flaps. Okay, so we're ready. $147, okay. Checklists. Okay, DH set 200. Seatbelts are on. Gear lights, well, we're not going for gear yet. Spoilers are armed. Auto brakes are set to medium. And flaps will be introduced at the proper time. Again, don't forget September here on Twitch. By subscribing, you're going to get a discount, 25% off 1 month and 3 month or 3-month subs, 30% off 6 months, both web and mobile. So we would really appreciate the support. We would love to have more subscribers here. Helping to pay some of the bills we have, along with some of the niceties we'd like to have as well. So again, September is upon us. All you got to do is hit sub. I don't know how that works with gift subbing. I'll be totally honest, that didn't come up. So, but yeah, gift away. We would love the extra here. All right, now we're dropping to 8. Okay, and our ILS has tuned in 4,000 at Gipsy. Oh yeah, we're dead on the sun.
Stabilizer motion.
Ooh, doggy, are we dead into the sun? Not really helping.
Altitude.
All right, where's that body of water?
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Okay, I got the runway. Phoenix traffic, FedEx 811 heavy, about a 5-mile final, 25 left visual. Yeah, I know I should be on. Crap, she is not slowing. Did she just throttle up? And we're going around FedEx 811.
Altitude.
Okay, we'll try this again. All right, this time let's go to CTAF. Trying to give that aircraft ahead of us a good run for whatever they're doing. Okay, if he's on 22.8, we should hear him. If he's on CTAF, we should hear him. And if he's going to 2.6, good for him. 2.5. We'll need to drop to 4,000 here shortly at Hammock. Okay, looks like he is awesome. 2.5 right. Okay.
Phoenix traffic, American 1884, about a 13-mile final, runway 25 left, established on the localizer, Phoenix.
Yeah, that sun was a killer. And will still be a killer. Now the reason the nose is coming down is I've got more.
Traffic, American 1884, on a 10-mile final, runway 25 left, Phoenix.
Stabilizer motion.
All right, I am going to make my turn now. Phoenix traffic, FedEx 811, turning for Hammock, 13-mile final.
Hey, traffic, American 1884, established on a 5-mile final, runway 25 left, Phoenix.
All right, everything looks a lot better this go around. Okay, one more check. Spoilers arm, flaps. 15 going to 28. Here comes the dreaded sun. And Phoenix traffic, FedEx 811 established, 16-mile final for 25 left. That way they all know. And yes, I am intentionally flying like this till I can see the runway again. And I know what happened now. Yes, I disengaged the autopilot, but not the auto throttle, which I just did. Okay, let's go ahead, bring her down to 160. Normally, yes, I would wait till the glide slope meets to put the gear.
1884, clear of the runway 25 left, we taxiing via Delta and Sierra to the ramp crossing 25 right at Foxtrot 4, Phoenix.
Okay, I'm going to FedEx, so it don't matter. Okay, we're established fully. Phoenix traffic, FedEx 811 heavy, 10-mile final, 25 left, gear down. Okay, laps 35, spoilers arm, brakes set.
American 1884, clear of runway 25 right.
2500.
I got a runway. Okay, we are established.
Motion.
Yep, that's exactly what I did. I forgot to disengage the auto throttles, and that's why she went full power on me. Good go around. Okay, let's get the speed bumped up a little. I'd like to be about 150. Okay, I'm about to take over. And Phoenix traffic, FedEx 811 Heavy, 5 mile final, 25 left for FedEx. Okay, let's see how I can botch this one.
Autopilot.
Okay, got
1000.
a little bit of a wind to contend with. .250 at 11. Oh, great. It's right down the runway. The one that usually always gets me. Okay, we're stable and we will be landing.
500. 400. Approaching minimum.
Landing stable.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Phoenix traffic, FedEx 811 Heavy off at Mike 3 to FedEx. Okay, trim. 3 units. And we'll just take this first spot. Okay, after parking. All right, let me look up here. Should be available. Okay, turn the rest off. All right, and exterior lights are off. And emergency power switch off. Status checked and parked. Emergency lights off. All right, there you go, folks. Welcome to Phoenix. Boy, that sun was wicked, but I had forgotten a few things. It's been a little bit since we flew it. So that was the reason for the go around. Ah, look, center came up. I wonder how long they've been up.
Phoenix traffic, Boy 4151. We're currently 8 miles out on the ILS runway 26, Phoenix.
Hang on a second. They're not up yet, but they're about to be. All right, let me unload this and clear out that. And that. We'll keep FedEx up there. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about being really quiet. This is it gets a little touchy on the landings. But overall, I think we have a good landing of 304 with the airline. We'll take it. 153, just a hair fast. We'll take it still. Log it. I said log it. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. And it logged. All right. Yes. All right, so that takes care of that. All right, let's quickly go through this. So Azul, thanks for being here. Thanks for everyone who turned out. What a great day. Even the missed approach was kind of fun to fly. So, all right, let's get a good old Elevatech in here. All right, again, we didn't see the storms. But supposedly they're out there. You never know. But let's zoom in on Phoenix, shall we? With Elevatech, now they're a little different, obviously, than SimToolkit. SimToolkit, you get a picture where you landed and all of the details that go with it there. Here, you get it on the flight rack. And you can see we landed just shy of 1,000 feet down the runway. Let's complete and see if it'll even tell us. I don't think it does. All right, 292, 153, and 1.2 Gs. You know, that is a really good. Yeah, I don't see anything on where. All right, so we'll kill that. And just kind of zoom out for now. All right, let's get rid of it. Bring Sim Toolkit in. All right, Sim Toolkit. Now, this is what I call the official Flying with Mike stat keeper. I'm sorry, it's all free, and this landing report is dynamite. So hang on a second. Just takes a couple pages to get to it. Okay, we're about to get the same details here in a minute. Hour and 17 minutes, 300 miles, 9,000 kilograms, and same numbers. Although they got us 173. Cool. All right, here's what I mean. You get your runway statistics, 7,800 foot. See the concern? Slope and all of that. Then you get your what you did with the aircraft. Pitch 5.2 sounds pretty good to me. And again, the basics.
Pitch our ground flight 4151. We are clear of runway 2610 Sierra Bravo.
All right, so we were 950 feet down the runway. Like I said, very close. This is where you want to aim for. 9 feet off the center line. That is a really good landing, and I'm glad we went around. All right, well, that is going to be a wrap for this one. Again, tomorrow, everything barring okay, we got 2 flights for you, Genoa, Italy to Naples, Italy, and then Dubai to, oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of it again. Dhahran International in Saudi Arabia. So aircraft change could happen with the first flight. We'll see. But there are still some variables out there. Stay tuned to Discord for the latest as to when we'll start. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for flying with us tonight. It was a great flight out of El Paso into Phoenix. Y'all got to enjoy a go around because of my missing kicking off the auto throttle. So, all right, well, let's get outside and look at the airplane as she's still blinky, blinky, blinky. And you all have a great night. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow. See you then.
attention.